Hi friends, it's Tracy from the Financial Freedom Diary, and today in this Sip and Serve, I'm going to share some information about the debt repayment methods. You guys are probably very familiar with two methods. There's a third method that I use that I don't really hear anybody talking about on YouTube. If you're new to my channel, please consider subscribing below. And if you're not new, hey y'all, how are you doing? The first debt repayment method is going to be your debt snowball. This is the one you guys hear Dave Ramsey talking about. This is where you list your debts smallest to largest according to your balance, regardless of the interest. And if you have two debts that have the same balance, what you would do is choose the one with the highest interest to pay. The pro to using this is that you get a quick win. You know, you start to feel successful while you're paying off your debt, and so it propels you to keep going. The con is that over the life of your debt repayment journey, you're probably going to pay out more in interest. Here I'm sharing just 6 debts. These are not mine, and they don't belong to anybody that I know. But all of the debt is actually organized according to the balance, with my lowest being my credit card number 1 and my highest being my student loan at $20,000. But you can see my interest rate column, everything is kind of all over the place, because when you're using the debt snowball method, interest doesn't matter. You're going to go for that lowest one and then move on. Once you're done paying off your lowest balance, you're going to move on to your next one. So in this case, it would be my doctor's bill. And so like the $25 that was my minimum balance for my first debt, I add that to the minimum for the doctor's bill, which in this case, I was paying them $50 a month to make that payment $75. And that's what I'm scheduled to pay them every month until I pay off the $1,500. And during this time, you know, you're working overtime, you're trying to side hustle any way that you can to add a little bit more money to paying that debt, but that is your minimum payment. It's the $75. So the next debt repayment method is going to be the debt avalanche. In this scenario, what you do is you list your debts according to the interest rate. You're going to list them from highest to lowest according to the interest rate. And if you have two debts that happen to have the same interest rate, you would actually start with the one that has the lowest balance in that scenario. Now the pro for this is that you will pay less in interest over the life of your debt repayment journey. The con is that it's possible that your highest interest rate may have a high balance, so it's going to take you longer to pay it off. Okay, so in my example, my highest interest rate and my lowest balance were actually the same. So it kept credit card number 1 for $1,000 being the first thing that I would pay off. I actually had that happen in my own my debt snowball. It was because when I listed everything out, probably like the third one had the highest interest rate, and it was really low. I think I owed about $700 at that time. And so I know that it doesn't necessarily mean that it's a really big balance and you can't pay it off. It's just sometimes that might be true. And so that's why I use the word possibility. So the minimum payment for the debt avalanche works the same as it does for the debt snowball. Once I'm finished paying off credit card number 1, the $25 that I was applying to that debt now goes to credit card number 2. And so now I'll be making a payment of $55. In addition to that, you know, I'm going to be side hustling. I'm going to be saving on my expenses at home, and wherever I can get some extra money, I'm going to take that extra money and actually put it towards my debt. One of the things I did for myself was I wouldn't allow myself to use the word extra money, because for me, extra money meant let's go shop. And so I would put it on my debt. Now the strategy that I used the hybrid method. This is where you use the debt snowball and the debt avalanche. And I would choose a strategy just based on how I felt. There are a couple of considerations that I take into account when I'm choosing a strategy. The first thing is do I need a quick win? This is how I feel emotionally. If I need a quick win, then I'm going to choose the debt snowball. So that's going to be according to the balance. And that way I can pay something off. If I don't need one and I can think through the math, I will choose the debt avalanche and go with the highest interest rate. Also, I like to have a fallback method. So if I choose the debt avalanche, and especially if that debt has a really big balance, I need a fallback method. What can I put in place if I can't make it? One of the things I experienced when I was paying off my car was that about like month 2, I was not feeling it. And so what I did was I switched back to my credit card. I paid the last credit card off. And when I did that, I felt emotionally ready to go through and pay my car off. Finally, choose the debt repayment method that works for you. And remember that you don't need anybody's permission regarding whichever strategy that you choose. If you're going to choose the debt snowball, you want to do a hybrid, or you want to do the debt avalanche, it's all up to you. And so, I mean, it only matters is if you actually followed through. Did you do it? And you guys have a super fantastic morning, afternoon, and evening. Thank you all for your continued support. And if you're not subscribed to my channel, please don't forget to subscribe. And y'all have a super fantastic morning, afternoon, or evening. Bye.